2023 in review from an EV and a renewables perspective. So in 2023, there were many records broken, new EVs on the market, many renewable energy stories. But these are just some of the ones. But firstly, we'll cover some Tesla stories, then we'll move on to the rest of the world. So here in Australia, Tesla opened 30 new supercharger locations, and that included 82 new plugs alone in December, primarily over on the East Coast, not here in WA. And they also introduced version 4 superchargers, the first of which was installed in Albury, New South Wales. And Tesla also started to open up its supercharger network to other EVs. Cybertruck deliveries started in the USA. Yeah, have you got one on order? I haven't. But since deliveries have started, a large number of new orders came in. Apparently, once you've seen the Cybertruck in real life, you'll want one. Well, I'm going to wait until I can see it in real life. Also, Model 3 Highland was released, and it's starting to become available here in Australia. It was on display even in Perth, where I was recently, and I did a video on it, maybe here. Tesla Model Y broke a 37-year-old record for sales in Denmark when it became the best-selling car in a single year, and it's set to become the world's best-selling car, not just EV, best-selling car. Now, in addition to that, the Tesla NACS, or the North American Charging Standard, which we don't use here in Australia, we've got CCS2. That was accepted by the SAE, which used to be the Society of Automotive Engineers, as the new standard for EV charging connectors, and it's been given the honourable name of J3400. Now, Tesla also bought a block of land in Shanghai, and they're going to build a new Megapack factory for its energy storage business there. And their goal is to produce 10,000 Megapacks a year. Not bad. And obviously this year the Tesla Semi was also released, and PepsiCo took delivery of quite a few of them. And after a bit of testing, they reported that its efficiency was 1.1 kilowatt hours per kilometre. Or was that per mile? But anyway, it was a lot more efficient than they were expecting. Fast DC chargers in Australia have almost doubled throughout the year. And here in WA, the WA EV network, which is funded by our state government, has passed the halfway mark in installations, making travelling in an EV around the state much easier. They are opening 49, and they had 25 or 26 opened already. And Tesla surpassed the 5 million sales worldwide, and China surpassed 20 million electric vehicle sales, and that all happened this year. So, talking of new EV sales, in Australia, EVs accounted for around 8% of new vehicles sold, which is double last year's, which is about 3-point-something%. So the need for the charging infrastructure to keep up in Australia is now paramount, as many more EVs are on the marketplace, including some of the cheaper ones like Oracat, MG4 EV and the BYD Dolphin, which are all selling very well. Now, talking of those three new cars, the total list of EVs now available in Australia is over 50 passenger vehicles and around 14 light commercial vans and several medium to heavy electric trucks. And some more sales records. Norway reached 93% of new cars sold having got a plug on them. Now that's actually 87% of battery electric and 6% plug-in hybrids. But that's a fantastic result, and it's a target that all countries need to emulate. Chinese companies like BYD, they've continued their expansion program. They were going into lots of different countries, but they're now just announced that they're going to build a new EV and battery factory in Szeged, or however you pronounce it, in southern Hungary. And it's probably going to surpass Tesla in the sales of pure battery electric vehicles. Now, remember, they sell plug-in hybrids as well as battery electric vehicles, and their sales are way above Tesla. But just on the battery electric vehicles, they're almost certainly going to beat Tesla out of first spot. Now, COP28. It came and went and added to the amount of global warming because of all that hot air that they generated talking. I wonder if COP29 will bring anything different. No, it's just going to be more of the same as the dino juice companies increase their efforts to stop the decrease of the usage of their products. Yeah, I'm going to leave that one there. But on the brighter side of things, a massive 1,500 megawatt wind project got planning approval, which is the first in nearly 3 years, and that's in New South Wales. Now, also in New South Wales, Neoen is going to begin construction of its second biggest solar farm. So that's all good news, and hopefully this is going to gradually push those dino juice and so on companies out of business. We've got a federal opposition here that's going on about nuclear power and SMRs and so on. The CSIRO, which is our science organisation here in Australia, has said that wind and solar are much, much cheaper than nuclear, even with the added costs of the integration of the grid. So, as usual, our opposition parties are way off the mark. In more good news, People Power stopped $1 billion loan going to Whitehaven Coal, which is Australia's largest coal producing company. Now, this movement stopped the National Australia Bank and 11 other banks refinancing a $1 billion loan to Whitehaven Coal. Hey! And since then, the NAB has also indicated that they plan not to lend any money to any company whose primary activity is mining thermal coal. So does that mean if it's their secondary activity? Yeah, we'll wait and see on that one. But I tell you what, People Power's got a lot to go for it. Now, our federal Labor government announced finally that they're going to introduce Euro 6D emission standards. Yay! But it won't come into effect until December 2025. That's 2 years away. Oh, it's a start, I suppose. Now, up until now, there were only 2 of the more advanced countries without emission standards. So that leaves just Russia. Well, there you go. And talking of renewables, West Australia hit a new record in November with, at one point in time, 81% of its energy was renewables. It's only for a short time, but that's still not too shabby for the most isolated grid in the world. Its previous peak was 79% back in September. Now, I just had a look at our energy consumption, and it was over 50% was solar and wind production, with the other 40-something% being coal and gas. When nighttime comes around, it's more coal and gas, obviously. But even so, to get about 55%, give or take, renewables during the daytime is a start. And we just need to build more and more. So whilst I'm on the subject of state governments, poor old Victoria. their state government lost the High Court challenge brought about by my mate Chris Vanderstock regarding their EV levy, their road user charge. And they've now said that they're going to repay all the monies taken. Yes! Well done, Chris. In April, CATL, I always refer to them as cattle, but that's just me. They launched an ultra-high density battery, which claimed an energy density of 500 watt-hours per kilogram at the cell level. That's not bad. Chinese smartphone manufacturer Xiaomi revealed its first EV. It's an SUV called SU7. And they said it will do 0 to 100 in 2.8 seconds, have an 800 kilometre range on the CLTC standard, so real world probably about 600 kilometres, with a 101 kilowatt hour battery. Still pretty good. It's also on an 800 volt architecture. Very impressive stats. So let's see if it lives up to all the hype. Xiaomi has also stated that over the next 15 to 20 years, they're aiming to be one of the top 5 auto manufacturers in the world. Apple, what are you going to do? So the world's first EV powered with sodium-ion batteries rolled off the production line in China. JAC Group's Yiwei 3. It's a brand new EV brand in China. It's backed by VW. And they brought 2 cars with sodium-ion batteries. Now, they don't have a huge range. They've only got about 30 kilowatt hours of battery with a range of 150 or 200 kilometres. Not a huge amount, but they're city cars. And Zeekr demonstrated what has to be the most advanced and safest battery, and they've called it the golden battery. Now, it can withstand freezing temperatures and temperatures as high as 1,000 degrees centigrade and still be put back in a car and work. That's just insane. But it will also charge at a high rate. Apparently, they claim it will add 500 kilometres in 15 minutes. Now, that actually means nothing. What you want to know is how many kilowatt hours it's going to put into a car. But even so, that's pretty reasonable. So if all their claims are true, and I can't see any reason why not, because they provided some evidence and videos, that's going to be a real game changer. I just wonder how much it's going to cost. Now for next year, 2024, what are we going to get? I'd like to see some cheap EVs being made. They need only be what are termed city cars, like those sodium-ion battery ones from China. Perhaps Tesla will bring out their $25,000 EV, although with inflation, I expect that's going to come out to be $30,000. But BYD, they've got the Seagull, which is a small, cheap EV. Now, it sells in China for the equivalent of $17,000 Australian. When it comes to Australia, though, it's anyone's guess. I would expect it would be in the region of 20 to 25,000 if it comes. Yeah. But seeing as how it sold over 200,000 units in the first 8 months on the market in China, it's going to sell like hotcakes wherever it goes, I reckon. Now, it doesn't have a huge range. Once again, it's a city car, and we need more of those. The average journey here in Australia is 40 kilometres a day. So if your car will do 200 kilometres, that's good for virtually 5 days. So on average, not too bad. And finally, the North Pole to South Pole in an EV has been completed. It's just fantastic, and congratulations to the pair of them that drove a Nissan Ariya EV from pole to pole. That's just a massive achievement. So well done. So that's it for this year. Let's see what 2024 will bring. I know there's a few new EVs coming into the market, certainly here in Australia. So let's keep an eye out and see what happens. Now, please don't forget, can you click that like and subscribe buttons below? And also check out my links in the description below. There's a few there that you can help me out with a few of them. So please stay safe, and I'll see you all in 2024.